So Addy, George is helping us out here, and I'm learning how to interview people. And I wanted to know, where are you from?
I am originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, which is the biggest city in Wisconsin, but not the capital. The capital is Madison. About 600,000, 650,000 people in the city of Milwaukee. So.
Wait, I have a question. Wendy, introduce yourself.
Oh, hi, I'm Wendy.
Wendy, where are you born, Wendy?
I was born in Richmond, Virginia.
Wow, okay. And so you guys went to school together, or how do you guys know each other?
No, we just met today.
Wendy is a subscriber of mine and George's.
And George's, yeah, absolutely. I love Addy and love
and
the work that he's done.
You've been subscribing to my channel since
4 years at least.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any. It's not 5 yet, but it's
no,
getting
it's not
close.
5. Yeah.
It's coming around.
Okay, so you can go back to your second question.
Oh, thank you. All right, so were you a really good student in school? What were your best subjects? What did you really excel at when you were in school?
I was not a hard worker until my senior year of high school. So I was kind of a guy that just relied on, quick look at the cheat sheet before tests, stuff like that, which, now maybe I'm not the most proud of, but I wasn't the hardest worker really until my senior years when I started taking academics seriously. But as far as my best subject, well, I was writing papers for people at one point. So I guess writing came.
Writing them for their grades?
Well, I'll let people read into that one.
Well, I know the answer to this test because I know Addy wrote English papers for.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, that's
English
good
papers.
practice. And did they pay you?
It was pay to play, yeah.
Yeah.
And then
There
I
you
got
go.
ripped off by somebody who I think used to have a crush on me, so I stopped after that. So I was like, there's no.
So you're being used for your literary skills.
I was indeed.
Is that sort of the same way I'm trading all, kept sending my viewers over to your channel so that you help me punch up these books a little bit? It's kind of like the same thing.
Likewise.
It's a similar thing, all right.
Math, I always had to work hard at. Starting in the 7th grade, that's when I was like, okay, I can't just show up and be good at math. That's not the way math works.
Practice.
Yeah, right. It's an implicit skill. It's not like you can read a page and then, I remembered 80% of it and get a B on the test or whatever. So, I think that's not unique to me. That's the way mathematics is. So I always had to work harder at math.
Did you ever get into anything like philosophy and politics in your senior year?
I remember I would go to Miss Chargalov's chemistry class, first hour my senior year, and I would read the New York Times while she taught class because I didn't think I had to put a whole lot of effort into that class. I'm sorry, Miss Chargalov, but I think you'll understand. We might have had this conversation already. But yeah, I went through like 3 or 4 months. I went from like being really big into news to thinking that it was a waste of time, and I didn't want to expend my finite energy and attention on it. So that lasted for a couple of years until the 2016 election, at which point that kind of started my, genesis of figuring out what was going on in the world. So. Yeah.
Did you like writing? Were you an English kind of person? Did you like writing and speaking before people?
I actually didn't really enjoy English class, even though I think if people read a lot, they're almost naturally going to be somewhat good writers. Yeah, even if you're, you don't have a whole lot of talent. I think, people who read a lot are going to be, they have that advantage of vocabulary and syntax and sentence structure, just from, the act of reading. First we read and then we write, right? So, but yeah, I never thought of myself as, an English major or anything like that. So.
How did you get what was your first interview that you ever did on your YouTube channel?
My first interview was with Sean Atwood, believe it or not, from England. Sean Atwood, he is a planet on YouTube right now. He's got, I think, 600K subscribers, and he blew up over the course of this pandemic, which he very much deserves. He got a fantastic life story. He was in jail for 6 years in Maricopa County, which is relevant right now. Joe Arpaio's stomping ground over there, the notorious Joe Arpaio, who Trump actually pardoned, which is one thing that I really have qualms with Trump doing, but it's relevant right now with the election fraud going on. But really thankful that I got such a great guest in Sean Atwood for my first interview. So.
And that's the first interview you did?
Yeah, and I remember a comment. Someone's like, "Hey, first interview, and you already got Sean Atwood. And you're gonna be at 100K before you know it."
Yeah.
So
yeah.
we're not there yet, but yeah, I hope he's right.
Oh. Well, what made you start your YouTube channel?
That's a good question. I had been a fan of podcasts for several years in college. Tim Ferriss is a really great podcaster. He's probably my favorite interviewer because he allows for kind of space between the notes. And what I mean by that is he doesn't talk unnecessarily most of the time, which I really enjoyed. He really allowed the interviewee to open up and expand on their thoughts, which a lot of interviewers just don't do. And the fact that he was talking to so many different people from different aspects of life, whether it's an athlete or a cook or a dancer, he would try to find someone who's doing, any career, but doing it well and doing it great, and figure out why they got so good at what they were doing. So the fact that he could use his podcast to talk to these different people, I thought was awesome. I was like, man, that's the best job in the world. I would love to do that. Just travel around talking and asking great questions. And you mentioned philosophy. I remember we had a sub teacher in high school when I was a senior again, and she's like, "Are you going to be a philosophy major?" And I was like, "Why are you wondering that?" And she's like, "Well, that question you just asked right there, that's partially why." But I was like, well, maybe that's more psychology. So, yeah.
Well, let's finish up with just where do you think you want to go with the YouTube channel?
I would like to get to 100K subscribers, but as far as content, I just want to keep interviewing great people and asking great questions, learning as well. I think that's really the main focus. Is I try to ask questions that I actually do want to know the answers to, and that I think the audience wants to know the answers to as well. So I'm not trying to project too far in the future, just trying to stay focused on the process. Talked to Brad Johnson today from the CIA. Just kind of take it one interview at a time, and focus on the process. And we mentioned Sean earlier, and I was so gratified when someone asked him, "Do you make goals? Like, do you make like 5-year goals?" And he said no. And he said no because he said it's too stressful. And I was like, wow, I'm totally vindicated, because I used to do that all the time. I would write goals, and it would just stress me out, and I would achieve like 1 out of 10, whereas I think if you focus on the process more, especially if you're, depending on personality type and neuroticism or whatever, it's a lot easier to focus on the work at the moment if you do it that way, focusing on the process rather than the outcome. So.
Well, thank you, Addy, for my first interview with you.
Thank you, Wendy. I'd love to do it again sometime. So my subscriber, Wendy, just interviewed me, and I hope we did okay. I think Wendy did great.
Yeah.
Questions, so.
See, everybody can do this. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank
Stay frosty,
you.
folks.
Stay frosty, right, from Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.